Hello students, we're going to talk about factoring sum and difference of cubes. We're going to go back to some factoring. First off, I want to go over just the rules for when you have sum of cubes and then also when you have the difference of cubes. Okay, so when you have two cubes that are being added together, we call this the sum of cubes. What I want you to notice is that what you're going to do is you're going to take the cubed root of the first term and the second term. So this could be written as like a cubed plus b cubed. So whatever the cube root is of this first term will go here, and whatever the cube root of the second term will go here. And notice that this sign right here is always the same as what you started with. So since we're starting with plus, then it's going to start with a plus. And then this in the middle will be the opposite sign. And you will always square the front and back. And then that last term right here will always be positive. Okay, and just one way that we remember this is from the letters SOAP, S-O-A-P, and what that stands for is same, opposite, always positive. And so what you would, here's where it comes from: same, opposite sign, and then always positive. It stands for SOAP. Okay, the difference of cubes is very similar, but what you're going to do is you're going to take the cube root of the a cubed and the b cubed, and you're going to put that here, and then notice that that sign right here is the same as what you started with, and then notice that this sign here is opposite, and then the third in this trinomial is going to always be positive. Okay, so that's where we've got our SOAP algorithm. One other thing that I wanted to point out is that this A, B right here in both of them, that means you're going to multiply the A times the B, so multiply them. Okay, so let's look at a couple of examples. Okay, example 1, we have x cubed minus 27. And notice that anytime you see a cubed, I want you to be looking for a sum or a difference of cubed. Because this is a minus, then we should have a difference of cubes. So let's write it as two things being cubed. So we've got x cubed minus, and if you don't know what number cubed gets you 27, you can always use your calculator, but this is going to be 3 cubed. Okay, always write it like that because that's going to help you when you write down the answer. So if you remember your SOAP, the first binomial is going to be the same sign, so x minus 3. We're just taking what is cubed here, what is cubed here. We're using the same sign. And then we're going to square the first one, so that would be x squared. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the last one. The last one would be 3 squared, which would be 9. That's always going to be positive. And then just remember the middle term is always the opposite, so since we had a minus here, then we're going to have a plus here, and we need to multiply these two together, so that would be a 3x. Okay, you can just check it. You could go ahead and multiply it back together to see if you get x cubed minus 27, and that would be your answer. Alright, example 2. We have 3x cubed plus 3. First thing that you want to do is recognize that you can factor out a GCF. So you have 3 times x cubed plus 1. And then x cubed plus 1 is a sum of cubes. We're going to have x cubed plus, and then what would be the cube root of 1? Well, 1, so 1 cubed.
Wow.
Okay, now so let's go ahead and write this down. So we're going to have the 3 on the outside. We're going to have the same sign, so it'd be x plus 1. And then we're going to have x squared. We'll have the opposite sign, which is minus 1x, because we're just going to multiply those together. And then always positive on the back. 1 squared would be 1. And there we go. And you can always, again, multiply it back together to see if you got the correct answer. Okay, last example. We have 8y cubed plus 125. So 8y cubed, if you take the cube root of 8y cubed, you get 2y. And then we've got the 125, well, that's going to be 5 cubed. Again, if you don't know those out, if you don't know those right off the top of your head, then you can just go ahead and use your calculator. Alright, so now we're going to write our answer. So, same, just remember SOAP, S-O-A-P. S stands for same, so we're going to use the same sign in the first parentheses, so 2y plus 5. Okay, and then we're going to do 2y squared, which would be 4y squared. And then opposite, so that's going to be a minus. We're going to multiply these two together, which would give me 10y. And then always positive would be a plus. And then I would want to do the 5 squared, which is 25. Okay, and that is your answer. Again, you could always double check it by multiplying it back together. Alright, fill out the WISC and come to class tomorrow with your notes filled out and ready to discuss.